Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Mythgarded Middle-earth. My name is Corey Olsen, the Tolkien Professor, joined as always by my friend Gryfflet, who is mounted up and looking across the terrain here in Rohan, really enjoying the view to the horizon. We have, of course, that very enticing stone fortification there in the near distance, which Gryfflet is really looking forward to figuring out more about, though you can tell from here it's Gondorian, right? I mean, even if the fact that it's made out of stone wasn't a big enough hint in the first place, right? You can see from the gold bits sticking up on the top, right, that it looks just like classic Gondorian architecture from the very even seen from the middle distance here. But nevertheless, he still would like to get a closer look at that. And of course, we can see this fortification up here on the down in the distance there. And then, of course, the more sobering sight of the burned out Rohirric homesteads in the near ground. So that's all promise of adventure to come here, looking across Rohan, and a wonderful glimpse, I think, of, you know, sort of the, in its way, its own little, like, summary, right, of the plot of Rohan and the storyline that they have built within the game. We see, of course, like, the immediate circumstances of this particular moment, right? This particular moment in history that we're playing in the game. That is the incursion of the Orcs here into the, you know, as we're still on the eastern side of Rohan, further away from the center of power of the Rohirrim, and of course, especially that power has been kind of withdrawn under the influence of Wormtongue. So we see some of that. And we've got, of course, the landscape. That I'm not sure what that fortress is up there. Whether that's another Rohirric town or whether that's an Orc camp. One or the other. If it's the latter, that's not so good. And of course, also the history. You know, the way that they are, as they always do, thinking in really interesting ways through the entire backstory of this area, and not just using it as, you know, a setting for the immediate storyline that they're working on. So anyway, it just seemed to me an interesting little glimpse. And then, of course, we have Cliving up in the north there, a great Rohirric town with a wooden palisades. See, like that says Rohan all over it, right? Look at that. You've got the wooden palisades, and then you can see the mead hall, right? Even from here, up there on the right. And the wooden watchtowers. Nice defensible position, of course, on those cliffs, on that sort of shelf below the higher bluffs there, and only approachable in two directions, right? Nice defensive position for Cliving. However, Wigan still has some business to the south, I believe. There was that orc camp that he heard rumors of, in which he still has some quests that he needs to get, I think, for those having finished. So last time, I mean, it's been several weeks since I was able to be here for the Gryfflet stream. 3 weeks, isn't it? Been 3 weeks since Gryfflet has ridden forth, and that time, I think, was when I discovered that, like, totally unexpected and unknown to me tomb, right? Which was like a whole archaeological exploration of its own. So we got kind of derailed there. So back making our way through the Norcroft's plot lines here. Okay. Dagram mentioned that he was heading south. Right, there's this dude, Dagram, the merchant, who's missing. Headed southeast beyond the river to look for some needed supplies. You told him to be cautious, but okay, he probably wasn't. Got it. All right. We'll look for him. And then I'm supposed to talk to this guard captain.
What brings you to these lands?
Okay, you've tracked the organized Uruk-hai force for a significant length of time. It seems to have broken off from the much larger army that passed east over the plains not long ago. Why these few have returned with haste, I cannot say, but they pose a threat to the people of Elthingels while they remain. I must remain behind to protect the merchant camp. Therefore, you'll entrust this task to me. Okay. A fortified wall with the white hand banners. The leader of the Orcs is sure to dwell within, and he must be dealt with. Okay. Dealing with... sorry. dealing with... Yeah, sorry. Ooh. All right. Ooh. Whew, boy. Apologies for losing my voice there. Anyway, dealing with an orc hold single-handedly, Gryfflet can handle it. Sneakily, hopefully. So off we go towards the Uruk High camp. Oh, look at the bears. Hi, bears. That's a lovely little waterfall. Uh-huh. I see your problem here. We're quite close to Elthingales too, so... Okay. All right, I think it is time to start sneaking. Yeah, no, Sam, I'm not sick. I don't know. I had a little issue there. But I think it should be all right. Yeah, no, my recent travel was very good. I was in Hawaii last week this time, which was pretty awesome, actually. Wasn't really a vacation. I was just working from Hawaii, which is kind of hard to complain about. It's one thing about, of course, my main job is president of Signum University, which is distributed. We kind of work from anywhere. So Hawaii seemed like a good place to work from last week. My wife had a professional conference. She was compelled to attend in Hawaii, so I accompanied her just to make sure, in case she needed protection or something. But yeah, no, exactly. I went to Hawaii Druid's Fire, and I sat in my hotel room with a view of the Pacific past the palm trees, which was a little bit of an upgrade over my dim basement that I am normally working out of. It was all good. Okay, wait, this is right around the corner from Mansig's encampment. It is? Right, well, the east wall's right... It's on the other side of the mountains, right? Oh, wow, that is right around the corner. I had no idea. My goodness. Can you get there from here? Huh. Okay, oh, we got a couple pummelers at the gate. Pummelers bearing quests. So I'm searching for the missing trader, and I'm discovering the leader of the Uruk High camp. Okay, I will also be hi, Angramore from Quebec. That's great. Hey, I just went to Quebec this past summer. I've been to Quebec before, like I've been to Montreal and stuff, but I went to Quebec City for the first time, which was awesome. I loved it. My family loves going up to Quebec. So since I live in New Hampshire, just south of the border, it's a really fun place for us to go. So anyway, welcome. Okay, anyway, so, I was going to answer a lore question. So I'm going to try to go back and make Phil happy by doing some of the older lore questions that I've been overlooking for a long time. So I'm going to start, JJ, with a question that you asked like 3 months ago. How about that? And the question was, this was back when we were exploring the Falls of Rauros. So you see how long ago that was, right? When I was still in the Great River. And you were saying that, of course, in the text, they mention, Aragorn mentions this, the stairs down, right? That there are stairs along the River Rauros that you can go. But after it's mentioned, staying with the river doesn't seem to be considered a serious option. Like, again, it gets thrown out in the conversation, kind of, in this sort of salty exchange between Boromir and Aragorn there, but it doesn't really seem to get put forward as a legitimate option, which is going to continue to be considered. Why not? Great question. Okay, so my answer to that question, if I can not lag up here, my answer to that question is, I think, pretty simple. Basically, Boromir is trying to urge them to go to Minas Tirith, right? And he's kind of making excuses in a sense at that point. Aragorn is kind of frustrated with him because Boromir knows that, they don't have to abandon their boats and head off towards Minas Tirith overland at that point. But Aragorn is not suggesting taking the stairs and continuing down. And I think the primary reason for that is simply that he knows, Aragorn knows, the choice has to be made. Like, for them to continue to go down the river, even, so first of all, I mean, you could say going around Rauros would be laborious, doubtless. I mean, okay, there's a stair. I do get the impression that stair is a lot more... in the game, I think it's a lot more gentle, than it probably is in the book. I mean, it's a pretty wide path. The way that Aragorn describes it, again, the fact that he calls it a stair, does suggest to me that he is that it would be a difficult and challenging thing for them to do with their boats. But more importantly, it would just be a delay. It would just be a delay of the decision that he knows that they have to make. Like, they have to choose: are they going to go to Minas Tirith, or are they going to, go straight to Mordor? And any further south they get at this point is simply procrastinating that choice, and more importantly, biasing that choice. I mean, if you look at the map, when Frodo and Sam head east from Rauros, right, from Parthgalen, they already get stuck in the Emyn Wheel, right? And Frodo says at the beginning of Book 4, we should have left the company a long time ago and come down from the north around the Emyn Wheel and never gotten stuck in this place in the first place, right? Had they continued further down, they would have to, they'd be like right up against, I mean, it just, there's no easy path there. If Frodo, I mean, not that there is ever any easy path, but you see what I mean? Like, basically, the further south they go, the harder it's going to be for them to go through the teeth of the enemy advance and the teeth of the enemy defenses to Mordor. So it's not just merely procrastination, which Aragorn doesn't see any value to at that point. But again, more importantly, it begins more and more to sort of bias the decision. And the sense that I get is that Aragorn is essentially saying, if we're going to make the decision to go to Minas Tirith instead of Mordor, we might as well make it honestly, right? Rather than, basically trying to say, oh, well, we'll keep our options open and just go south further, when in fact, the further south they go, the harder it becomes for them to get to Mordor from their current position, and the more tempting, at the least, if not actually, sort of desirable it becomes, or almost necessary, the further down they go, for them to, enter, to be in Gondorian territory first on their way over. So yes, Marielle, I do think that Boromir knows that too, and is kind of trying to stack the deck in a couple different ways. And I do think that that's one of the reasons that Aragorn is getting a little testy with Boromir at that point. Because he basically feels, I think, that Boromir is being, I won't say underhanded, because that would be unfair to Boromir, but not very unfair. Again, I think that, Aragorn is sort of, well, I don't want to say suspicious of that exactly, but knows that Boromir's suggestions are definitely motivated by the outcome that he's trying to bring about. And JJ, absolutely, Kirathongol isn't even on the table at that point. So if the goal is the Black Gate, which, you know, is everybody, you know, is the way in, right? Then coming down to it from the north is clearly better than starting from Minas Tirith and marching straight across and around up to the Black Gate, through all of the enemy forces that they know to be gathering there. Coming in from the angle that they come in from the Emmenwheel, and, you know, as is so often the case in Tolkien stories, the, you know, sort of unexpected direction that they end up coming from turns out to be the best way they could have come. But again, no, it's not that Aragorn was necessarily anticipating that, but again, he certainly would have seen that at the very least, it would have done them no favors to go further south before they began. And Marielle, I have no idea what Aragorn's plan was. Who is this dude bowing to? His campfire? That backpack sitting over there? Maybe he's just got stomach cramps. He's like, oh, damn, okay. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, there you go. Oh, there you go, another stomach cramp. Sorry, that was unfair. Okay, there we go. JJ, it's true that they could have just let the boats ride the falls and hike down themselves. I hadn't thought of that as an option. But theoretically, yes, that would be possible. But how would they catch the boats again? I mean, that would be a little risky, you know, as to whether or not they'd be able to find them. And of course, you know, if they... Oh, I've encountered the leader. Oh, there he is. You smell hobbit flesh? How do you know the word hobbit? Oh, because you're from Isengard. Aha. Uruk-hai. That makes sense. Yeah, I was wondering about that too. I mean, you look at these, you know, did this used to be a Rohirric camp? These watchtowers do look... They're not very typical Rohirric watchtowers, but they're kind of like them. I could at least, you know, believe that had been the case. Oh, hey, I don't have to walk through the camp to go back out because I'm a burglar. I just remembered. Whee! All right. Uh-oh. I aggroed that guy. If he follows me all the way back to the camp, I'll fight him. Anyway, so that is my answer. At the very least, so as not to procrastinate further. At the most, because he knew it would actually hinder their way into Mordor. That's why Aragorn does not really consider going down past Rauros. But yeah, Marielle, as for your other question, again, I don't know. I don't think Aragorn had any clear plans. It is suggested that he had been in Mordor before during the hunt for Gollum, or at least near it. See, I'm not sure that he actually entered it. And it's possible, of course, that he it's possible that he could even, I mean, during the long hunt for Gollum, he could even have entered the long way round. That is, like, from the east, right? Into Mordor, that is. But was he actually in Mordor itself? He encountered the Nazgul. He was near Mordor. It would, but I'm not 100% sure that we have definite evidence that Aragorn himself has been inside Mordor. I can't remember if there's a specific reference in the text there that confirms that. We know he's encountered the Nazgul before, again, from the exchange at Bree. And we know that he was near Mordor in the hunt for Gollum, but it was outside Mordor in the Dead Marshes that he encountered him. JJ, exactly. That's when he got his prosthetic wooden feet. Yeah. Well, that was on a different occasion, of course. If you don't know what we're talking about, of course, in the very first draft of the Fellowship of the Ring, the dude that they meet in the Prancing Pony, that, Frodo and company, well, Bingo and company, which was his original name, meet in the Prancing Pony is a wild hobbit named Trotter who wears wooden shoes, and in one note that Tolkien wrote, he was actually considering making them wooden prosthetic feet. And the reason that he wears the wooden shoes and possibly has prosthetic wooden feet is that he was tortured by the Nazgul before, and that's why he does the PTSD reaction that he does in the Prancing Pony when the Nazgul come up. And Aragorn inherits that. So those lines, exactly word for word, those lines describing Aragorn's reaction, Strider's reaction, I should say, perhaps, in the Prancing Pony, were kept directly from that time. Even though, again, it was a totally different character and a totally different circumstance, Tolkien kept that bit. So the idea of Aragorn's having had some kind of traumatic connection to the Nazgul is maintained throughout. But yeah, it's we're never really told that story. So. And there's the name Aragorn first appears as the name of a horse. Which horse was it? Gandalf's horse? I'm trying to remember which horse was named Aragorn in those early drafts.
What business have you with the Rohirrim?
Okay, if you're interested, by the way, to learn more about this stuff, check out Signum's YouTube channel. So just Signum University's YouTube channel, and there's a playlist for the Mythgard Academy, which will have separate playlists for the video recordings of all of the book discussions that I've been doing on the Mythgard Academy way back since 2013, and we've been going through the entire history of Middle-earth series. Really, really amazing background information if you're interested in that. So yeah, Signum University, and anyway, yeah. So I did discussions of. Well, I've finished just recently the entire history of the Lord of the Rings, which goes through the manuscript draft history, as we sort of discussed through as we saw the story develop. It's absolutely fascinating to see, and so you can get all those lectures, all those classes for free on our YouTube channel. Return of the Shadow, Treason of Isengard, The War of the Ring, and then in Sauron Defeated, the first half of the Sauron Defeated class, as well as other great books. Exactly, we're doing a Wizard of Earthsea right now, if you want to join our live discussions on Wednesday nights. And we've done Dune and Watership Down and Dracula and Sir Thomas Malory's Le Morte d'Arthur, the entire 700 pages in Middle English. It was awesome. Anyway, lots of fun times at the Mythgard Academy. Okay, there we go. My captors told me that their leader, Malhur... Oh, it's Malhur! That was Malhur and his lads? Oh, boy, I wasn't even paying attention to who that was. That's pretty cool. That's cool. Okay, anyway, all right. Would have plans for me. I wager that I only live now because your arrival preceded his. Okay. The bravest hobbit I have ever known? Yeah, I'm sure I am. That would be high praise if I had any reason to think you'd ever met a hobbit before. Yeah, so the Mythgard Academy has been really fun. I've been doing this. So, the way the Mythgard Academy works is that we... so we just go through books sort of chapter by chapter. We do the books that are voted on. So the people the donors who support Signum University get to vote and decide what book we do next. So I don't know what book we're going to do next. I don't choose the books. We just have people vote on it. So we do. The technical rule is that we can't do any two books by the same author in a row. And most of the people in the class are Tolkien fans. So in practice, what that has meant is only every other book that we do is a Tolkien book. And again, we've been going, marching our way now for several years through the whole history of Middle-earth, which has been just one of the most remarkable experiences of my adult life. Really, I've learned so much in our trip through the history of Middle-earth. It has been absolutely fantastic. So, anyway, I commend those to you. Again, all of those are available for free. Ooh, light comparison of the Norcrofts. I could start upgrading from my my wold comparison there. Okay, the Uruk-hai force will be unable to execute an offensive against us. No problem. Happy to help.
Will you aid the road?
Woo! Leveled up. How about that? Level 79. Look at Gryfflet here. Okay, all could hear the sounds of destruction carrying from the west, and this put the guards on alert. It is known that the Orcs burned and pillaged much of the land, yet not since had we heard the roar of carnage so close. We know not who may still dwell in the remaining homes, but they are certainly in grave danger. All right, I shall ride to their aid. Okay. How long will it be before we get to exploring the history of Middle-earth? Oh, man. I don't have any aspirations of living that long. This guy has a quest ring. Yeah, it looks like I need to get him. Okay. Oh, wait, hang on a second. Got some skill points available. Oh, all right. And he's all maxed out with his stats. Very good. Okay, hard to hurt. That sounds useful. Hard to hit also sounds useful. And keen instincts. Okay. Determination. Okay. What's this one? Deep reserves. Ooh, power regen. Yeah, let's do that. All right. Yeah, let's see. Okay. Cool. Excellent. Oops. Not what I meant to do. All right, come on, Gryfflet. You got to get back to mounted combat here, which you've not done in several weeks. Okay, Gryfflet is now a level above the local mobs again. I think I'll get him up to 80 and then freeze him again. Okay. What do I need here? Defeat mounted orcs. Mounted orcs have been threatening the people of the Norcrofts. Thinning their number would provide a great benefit. Oh, I have previously accomplished it. Darn it. I didn't notice that. Well, I'll probably run afoul of them again anyway. Okay. Exploring the shadow of Mordor. No. I don't think so. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Ethelot. I might have to bequeath some of those things to somebody else because it's Hey, look, a house that's not burned. This looks handy. Hang on, there's somebody. Let's see.
Our mission is dire.
What strength can I offer? Oh, wait. Was that a diss? Hey, I'm here to help, man.
Upon our strength.
I live further to the west with my son, the vile orcs. They came upon us as we slept. We ran east toward Elthingels while the orcs pursued us with haste. When we reached this estate, I convinced my son to play a hiding game with me, and he hid within the basement. I managed to lure many of the orcs away, but was struck with an arrow and was forced to hide. The orcs must know my son is inside this house. They have gone to search for him. Uh-oh, find the key and rescue him from the basement. The fattest of the orc fiends was carrying the key. Okay. Well, I'm just going to go in the front door then. How does that sound? Because I'm level 79 now, so, you know, that's pretty intimidating if you think about it. I recall Kunuith words of a fat orc possessing the key. Okay, so now I'm what? That's a skinny orc. This guy looks a little chubbier. Hi, do you have a key? What's your BMI compared to the average for orcs? Okay. Well, they seem to be, I don't know, they've cornered a box of crates, but that doesn't seem to be the child I'm looking for. Excuse me. There was a deer in here? Man. Okay. There's nobody labeled like fat intruder or something. Okay. I mean, I really can't mourn for the deer. Must have been a savage fight. The only hope is that the deer, you know, would be on the side of the locals here against the orcs. But I suppose that might be too much to hope for. Oh, wait, there's an upstairs. What are you attacking? Oh, a bookcase. Or maybe it's a bureau. Hey, lay off the furniture. Oh, I didn't even see that guy sleeping over there. Hey there. You're fairly rotund. You don't have a key, do you? You do. You were snoozing over here. Okay, found the basement key. Oh, quite a few parchments here. And look at this guy. So this guy's just busy breakdancing and he's not even interested. That's fine. You do you, man. Okay, back around the bank. We gotta rescue the kid. Oh. Hey,
What
found the
brings
key.
you to these lands?
No problem. man, there are orcs in here with the kid. Let's hope he's real good at hiding. Hi. Okay. Yeah, we're in the Norcrofts now. Oh, there he is. Okay, that's not actually an excellent hiding place. And putting your hands over your head doesn't make you harder to find.
What brings you to these lands?
You weren't well hidden, but they didn't find you. So I guess we'll call it a win. You don't like this scary game. Okay. I don't blame you. You should totally get back to your dad. Yeah, he's very good at hiding, Steen, but that's like, I guess we're grading on a curve here.
What business have you with the road?
No problem. His ability to remain calm and unseen is in part due to the games of hiding we've put. Yes, you prepared him well for this moment. Hey, no problem, man. I forgive you your initial insult. Glad to help.
Have need of your services.
The Norcrofts are home to the most beautiful and fertile farmland, and they should belong to its people, not to filthy orcs. Yet as their vile horde ravaged across these lands, they simply claimed whatever defenseless property fell within their wake. Reeve Athelward has abandoned these farms. Oh, Reeve Athelward is the jerk who killed the son of the Thane of Elthingels, isn't he? Yet as their... Right, okay. Theoden King sits blindly upon his throne. My last hope falls to you. Okay, well, that's me. Okay. When your Reeve fails and your king fails, turn to your local random hobbit. Okay. All right, well, I can't really say no to this guy, so I'll have to dislodge people, I guess. So who am I looking for? Scavengers and defilers. No, he's an invader. He does not count. And he's a scout. And he's a raider. Where am I meant to find scavengers and... Oh, sure. Oh, no, they're not everywhere. They're over here. Mounted dudes are everywhere. Okay. Okay, let's see. I've heard there are, defilers and scavengers around here. Kind of looks like. Who's that? Oh, that's a defiler, and he's got a quest ring. And that's a raider. Well, let's see what we can do. Hey there, Mr. Defiler. Boom! Oh. Wait, something fishy. The orcs among the western farmlands seem to be in possession of a type of fish. Okay. Collect unfamiliar fish. How unexpected. He was chewing on an unusual fish. Okay. How many fish am I meant to get? I didn't get his fish? Oh man, he spotted me just in time. Okay, let me see if I can do another lore question. Oh, no, wait, I wanted to explain something for those of you who are new. All the jokes about exploring the history of Middle-earth and such, is a reference to one of my other broadcasts, which is exploring the Lord of the Rings. So on Tuesday night, I am leading a discussion on the Lord of the Rings, which is, I feel fairly safe in saying, the most detailed, in-depth class on the Lord of the Rings ever taught in the history of humanity. We are now 122 sessions in, so that's 244 hours worth of discussion so far, and we haven't quite gotten to the Council of Elrond yet. So we just had class number 20, session number 29, on the Many Meetings chapter, chapter 1 of book 2. I think we might finish it next time. I'm not going to predict, but I'm going to say it is very possible that we could actually finish that chapter next week in only 30 sessions. So we've spent, better than 6 months talking about that one chapter since Frodo woke up in Elrond's house. So when they're talking about doing an exploring class, that means going sentence by sentence through because that's what we're doing. We're discussing the Lord of the Rings paragraph by paragraph and sentence by sentence, essentially. So yeah, they're teasing me about when I'm going to do that with the history of Middle-earth series. And the answer, of course, is that I certainly won't live long enough. As it is, I'm not expecting to finish our discussion of the Lord of the Rings for probably 15 or 20 more years at the rate we're going. So, yeah, we did spend a month and a half on the, just recently, on the Eärendil Was a Mariner poem, Bilbo's poem in Rivendell there. So, yeah, we did 5 sessions on that. So, yeah, it was about a month and a half. Yeah, so, and Sam is wondering how many seasons I think my hypothetical Silmarillion TV series will be. Well, a bunch. The real question is going to be, right now we're almost done with season 4, which is basically of Beleriand and its realms. And from the rising of the sun through the emergence of Glaurung is basically the final point. And then season 5 is going to cover up through the Dagor Bragollach. Season 6 will be the Beren and Luthien season. Season 7 will be like that, the aftermath, like between Beren and Luthien and Turin Turambar. So we're going to get, probably 12 seasons up through the War of Wrath-ish. That's just a general ballpark guess. Okay, I still need more these scavengers and defilers, and I haven't even found any more fish. Oh, wait, no, I do. Ask Cunewith about the presence of the fish. Okay, I guess I did find fish and didn't even notice that I did. Anyway, so yeah, I would guess 12 or so seasons up through the War of Wrath, but then the real question becomes, how do we handle, and I really don't know the answer to this yet, how are we going to handle the Second Age and the Third Age? Because, the goal is to take the adaptation straight up through Well, I'm Back. Anyway, so we'll see. Depending on how much detail we go into in the Second and Third Age, we'll really make the choice there. So this is the project called the Silmarillion Film Project, and it is so much fun. Oh my goodness, it is so much fun. Our planning, our theoretical adaptation of the Silmarillion to a multi-season TV show, and it has been excellent. I have really discovered a lot and thought through so many things that I had never thought through about the Silmarillion before. And it has been excellent. And this season, in season 4, our script writing team, we have a team of people who are actually composing full scripts for our episodes, and they're really good. I'm really quite attached to them, and very impressed. I think that we were really building a fascinating story here, so it's fun. Really, really good stuff. Yeah. We did start with the Aino Indole. So season 1 was the season of the Valar, basically from the Aino Indole through the capture of Morgoth, the imprisonment of Morgoth, and then there's a scavenger right there. And then season 2 was from the awakening of the elves in Cuiviénen through to the darkening of Valinor. And then season 3 was from the Oath of Feanor through the Rising of the Sun. So the final episode we had a cliffhanger ending because we had Maedhros hanging from the cliff at the end there. It was really cool. The kind of stealth protagonist of the entire film project, well, sort of antagonist, but sort of the stealth central character is Sauron. Actually, Sauron. In season 1 we had the initial decision of Myron the Maya, to defect and go over to Melkor's side. So we had his sort of decision process there, and what led him to. Oh, good! I finally finished stalking these guys. It took some doing. Anyway, so yeah, we did his initial defection and the reasons for it, right? And then we've gone all the way through, and of course he's going to be our really our central character all the way through, because we're going to go all the way through the War of the Ring and everything at the end. So the real kind of frame of the film narrative is going to be the where are you going, you loser? Are you just running away? You're trying to get me to aggro all those other dudes. But I didn't. I'm just going to aggro this one other dude. Seriously? What is wrong with you? Anyway, yeah, so Film has been a really wonderful project that has been going on now for about 5 years. And definitely something that is catch up with the bowl, and also something you could just kind of join in season 5 when we begin that. Yeah, we're actually casting for season 4 now. So if you go to our forums, you can nominate folks. We've been casting actual actors in all these roles, and we actually have to cast both Gandalf and Glorfindel in this season. It's pretty big. So,
what brings you to these lands?
These fish may seem foreign to you, but they are at times caught from the stream that flows west. They have quite a poor flavor, but I suppose it matters little to the Orcs. I know of no farm that would have these fish stockpiled. Could it be that the Orcs have also established an outpost along the water? Okay. So it's a very indirect piece of evidence that there's another Orc camp nearby?
Will you aid the Horse Lords?
The farms and homes we once loved have been utterly destroyed by the Orcs. Even if we were able to reclaim them, it would take years of work, but we must have resolved. Even when Theoden King has closed his eyes and ears to our suffering, you have stood by us and helped fight for what is rightfully ours. Hey man, happy to help. Okay, so hang on, but you had another quest, yeah?
The Rohirrim will need your aid.
I have given much thought to the situation, and I believe that the Orc menace may be more coordinated than we had believed. If our foe has been poaching fish from our stream, and that's the last straw. Yeah, let's see. Then surely they must have discovered Minas Runt. The ancient Gondorian military tower. Yes, the ruin. Oh, it's so good. I would wager that the orcs plan to use it as a stronghold with which to watch over their newly claimed homes. Okay. Assault their home. Okay, assault the ruin with orcs in it. No problem. Boy, that is a welcome quest. And meanwhile, I will maybe take out a couple other mounted folks on my way past, like this loser over here. And so help me, if I have to chase you all the way across the plains of Rohan, I'm going to be put out. Thank you. Thank you for dying sensibly and peacefully. Okay. Let's see, you're not mounted, so you don't count. You are. Hope you're not too far away. Are you out of the range of this quest? Oh, I seem to have come to a stop for some reason. Oh, no. Wasn't too far away. Which means... Oh, yeah, but I better find another one here before I go too much further. No, Mr. Bear, you're fine. Let's see. Oh, there's you. Now, why don't you come this way so we can not aggro that other guy? Alright, now as I'm... Okay, I was about to say something foolish. I was about to say, while I go and invade this other orc camp, I'll answer another lore question, but then I was realizing... Hang on a second. This is in a Gondorian ruin. I think I'm going to be distracted by other things. Okay, no problem. There we go. Alright. Now it's just down to the Tower of the Stream. Uh-huh. Yeah. See, you could tell those Gondorian things from a mile away. Oh, man, JJ. A Signum-sponsored gaming studio? That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Bet those are pretty expensive to run. Well, you know, maybe when, when Signum University is sitting around with, like, millions of dollars we're trying to figure out what to do with, we'll totally keep that in mind. And we will start, like, this new series of cool MMOs that are, like, totally lore-based and fascinating. Trying to do for other fandoms what the Lotro folks have done for Tolkien fans. That would be cool. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Oh, it's one of the wizard statues. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. We've got the Gondorian trees there and there. We've got the sort of wing thing that we so often see at the top. Oh, we got the trees in these niches all the way along. Are those gates? They are. They're like screen doors. That's really interesting. Why am I not stealthed? A question to be asked. Okay. Oh, look, it's river gates. Right? Because this is the Tower of the Stream. The ancient tower, Minas Runt. Right. Defeat orcs. I thought you might want me to do that. Maybe I'll start with you. I still can't quite one-shot these guys. We have erected skull sconces. What kind of a skull is that? Is that a horse skull? I didn't think horses... Is that what horse teeth look like? Do they have canines? Is that a wolf skull? What kind of skull is that? It's got to be a predator. A wolf, maybe? A warg? The fact that there's skulls mounted, like torches in skulls mounted on femurs is pretty cool. These are human skulls, not orc skulls. I'm just wondering why they're, like, I would have expected them to be primarily using, like, the skulls of their enemies. Hi! Oh, man. Not quite enough. Maybe when I level up one more time, I can one-shot these dudes. Well, let's keep going up. So let's see. This was, so far, not a very fancy... This looks like really a Gondorian watchtower more than anything else. Oh, we've got a nice bookcase with original texts. And somebody ripping up the books. How dare you! Fiend! Alright, now who put the skull up on the shelf? Is that an ancient Gondorian talking piece there? I love that in a Gondorian watchtower, there are bookcases stacked so high that you need a ladder. Kind of speaks well of the Gondorian centuries. After all, like, being posted here must have been a little bit dull, right? So they have a nice library. Yeah, you're probably just sitting over here taking a break from defiling books. That is not okay. Oh man, did you spot me like in the fraction of a second before I began attacking? Okay. Yeah, this could well have been Ethelod, a sort of a scholarly outpost, conceivably. Oh, there's a ladder over here. Okay, let's get... Guys. Look, I was going to leave you be, but now, see, you've ruined that. Because you guys were over here not destroying books. So I was willing to just let you pass. But no, you couldn't let me pass. Okay. Those banners? No, that's set in the wall. Okay, let's keep going up. Ooh. Oh, a swan banner. A swan banner with the Numenorian stars, so you see the 7-pointed Numenorian stars that we've seen so many times before, set like right there in the, in the rushes there, in the, in the grass behind the swan. So 2 Numenorian stars over the swan. I think it's a swan. It's a little bit odd, isn't it, Phil? Because the head looks like a swan's head. The beak looks like a swan's beak. The body does look a little more like an egret, especially the neck, right? It doesn't have a swan's neck. But it doesn't really have the beak of an egret either. Nor any crest or anything like that. Oh, and you see what this is over here? I think it's a little hard to see, but I believe this is one of those Númenórean things. Yeah, exactly, like an even dim. So you've got the Númenórean time frame, right? The sort of cautionary tale of the men of Númenor, right? With the Númenóreans arriving and giving gifts. See, they're coming with open hands there at the top, giving gifts of agriculture and seeds and things like that. And then we have them as like stern kings receiving the tribute of the people. And then we have them coming in war and fighting the people. And then we have them like enslaving and leading the people away in chains. So we have this, oh man, what an exciting day that was. I remember the building we were looking at in Even Dim too, when we finally figured out what these pictures were. So satisfying. Oh, and just look at that ceiling, stained glass ceiling. That's amazing. Yeah, anyway, so that's cool. So yes, the cautionary tale of Númenor. And then of course over here we have the banner of the king. Symbol of Gondor on his chest. Helm on his head. Sword. 3 Númenórean stars. So we've got the one big central star and the 2 smaller ones, 1 gold, 1 silver. That suggests, of course, Elendil, Isildur, and Anarion. And since this dude is pictured right under the big star with the big star pointing down to him, I would guess this is supposed to be Elendil. I mean, maybe not, but that's what it looks like based on the way that those things, the symbols around him are structured. And then the 2 swan / egret / stork pictures. It's not a stork. It's not proportioned like a stork. Look how short its legs are. Yeah, no, I wouldn't think it would be Elros. The star wouldn't lead me to believe it's Elros. I mean, of course, he's the first king of Númenor, but yeah, no. So I'm looking at the star, because the swan banners really look like they're attached, right? Notice how the swans are symmetrically facing in, right? Are we supposed to add their stars in so that, like, to sort of take those 3 tapestries as if they're all one image, so that we don't in fact have 3 stars over the king, but only the central 3 of the 7 stars, so that we have the king and the 7 stars and the 2 swans facing in. Yeah, Elrond. Okay, no, Elrond is not a Númenórean. I mean, he never was in Númenor, even though his brother was, of course, the first king of Númenor. There was a version. Tolkien did kind of want to put Elrond as first king of Númenor, but he decided to change his mind. So he's connected to the Númenóreans in that Elros, their first king, was his twin brother, but he himself never went to Númenor. And those are all the same. What sort of? Oh, hi, Zunum. I didn't even notice you there. There was like a boss in the room the whole time I've been looking at the tapestries. Anyway, hang on. Zunum, you've been so patient. If I could just prevail on you for a little bit longer, or impose upon you a little bit longer, I'll kill you in a moment. But I'm thinking about swans. So why would the why would the king be flanked by swans in this way? I mean, if it's a king, Ethelot, I suppose you're right. If it's a king, and I do know he's a king because he looks like one. Yeah, so the story with swans flying over is the Tuor story. And Tuor in Tuor's house is where the swans were attached for a long time, and of course swans are also associated with Prince Imrahil, down at Dol Amroth. But is it possible that this is not a king of Gondor? Well, it's got the 7 stars though, which is the banner of the king. That's where I keep coming back to, really. If it didn't have the 7 stars, or 3 of the 7, if we take the 2 banners, the 2 swan tapestries as part of the same picture. So yeah, I think it's got to be a king, or he wouldn't have the 7 stars arrayed about him. It could be Isildur. Yeah, I mean, Tuor's in the family tree, Phil, no question. But I don't think it's Tuor. It's got the white tree on his chest, right? So, let's not make this overcomplicated. This is a Gondorian tower, and it's going to be a king of Gondor, clearly. I think that the swans, rather than being symbolic in the sense of standing in for the swan does become the symbol of Tuor's house. But again, I think that's too complicated. I think that what we're getting there is atmospheric in a sense, or even geographical. That is, notice there are 2 things, apart from the king himself, there are 2 things that prominently stand out in the tapestry of the king here, right? There are the stars above his head, which we've already talked about, and there's the bulrushes right behind him, right? And that's got to be, you don't just randomly say, I've got a king, what do I, I need some bulrushes. Let's throw some bulrushes in there. Who does that, right? So that means he is in a place with swans and bulrushes. Where would he be in a place with swans and bulrushes? By the coast. Why would a Númenorian king with the Númenorian stars above his head be standing among bulrushes and next to swans when he just landed maybe from Númenor? So my thought is that maybe this is Isildur. After he's, parked the stone, right, at the Stone of Erech and stuff. But, so maybe this is meant to be Isildur landing in Gondor, so that this is commemorating, it's part of the origin story of Gondor. So he could be, yeah, exactly. Well, egrets are often found in swampy areas, it's true. But again, the rushes, the waterfowl suggests, coastal, and I don't just mean on the beach, right? I mean anywhere really along the river. It could be a Lendil Lotro, a Maven, but the primary, by the way, hi Maven, but the primary reason I would think not a Lendil would be that he didn't land down here. I mean, he landed up in the north. Now, I mean, there might have been bulrushes and swans up in the north too. Can't rule that out. But again, with the white tree, makes this sound more typically Gondorian. Safarli? Is that what your name? Safarli is asking, could it be Arnor? I wouldn't think so. I mean, it could, in theory. But again, for any other king besides... If you're not going to be commemorating the landing, again, having it be a waterside shot, what reason do any of these kings have to be in water? What's the significance of, tapestry of king among bulrushes, unless it's a landing? And look at him. Right? Look at that posture he's in. Doesn't that posture say textbook picture of Christopher Columbus to you? Doesn't that kind of look like... This is not a king marching to battle, right? This is not a king... this is a king claiming territory, right? I think that's a landed king of Númenor. So, and yes, Phil, it's true that Isildur died among bulrushes, but I don't know that that's generally known in Gondor. In fact, we know it's not generally known in Gondor. So I'm thinking this is explorer /discoverer /king, right? So yeah, I'm gonna go with Isildur. It could be Elendil. I mean, again, this centrality under the central star to me suggested Elendil initially. Still could work for him even up in the north. I guess you could kind of argue that since this tower is itself, like, compared to, the rest of Gondor, this is way towards the northern frontier of Gondor, so it's really kind of off looking in the direction of Arnor, but still, from an Arnorian perspective, this is way in the south. And then you got the White Tree, which was much more of a Gondorian thing than an Arnorian thing. So I'm going to go with Isildur landing on Middle-earth, establishing the Númenorian realms, so you have the 7 stars of the Númenorian kings of Middle-earth. They're above the land, right? The newly discovered land with the swans of Middle-earth by the shores of Anduin looking on. Okay, good. I think I feel comfortable with that. I never really noticed how the swan tapestries I've seen those separately before. I mean, I'm sure I've seen this before, but I never really noticed that they formed one picture like that, or at least if I have, I've forgotten it. Okay, Zunum, you have been so patient, and I really want to commend you for that. That was extremely thoughtful. There we go. And now we can have some combat. Very good. I like your helmet, by the way, though I think you've restricted your vision a little bit unnecessarily. I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. I think it looks pretty awesome, but, how can you see through that thing? It seems really unnecessary, to be totally honest with you. Okay, I've defeated the orc leader. All right, I still have 2 more orcs. Okay, well, so I'm going to go ahead and rule out Watchtower, by the way, as, this just leads up to a closed chamber with no... What was this originally? We've got Gondorian chairs and... What is this thing? An altar? I mean, it almost looks like an altar, but it's like a counter? A desk? A 2-person desk? It's just a table. No, it's not a table. Hope chest? Tomb? Nah, I mean, it can't be a tomb. Yeah, a study. I think... Yeah, it's true. Study. I like that, Ethelod. I think... between the bookshelves and the upper room that we saw there, I think it's pretty likely that... hang on. All right, I'm going to leave you guys again. Just going to take out 2 more singletons on the way down. I think from the evidence of the bookcases plus a study up at the top, really does suggest that this is not a watchtower. This was a scholarly retreat, right? So somebody of a scholarly bent, maybe in Minas Tirith, maybe from some other Gondorian family, or from, some nearby, built this place as a place to come to retreat from the world out in the middle of nowhere in Calenarthen here. And for solitude and quiet study, which means that the books here are probably really quite valuable because these are not just random books. These are not just like paperbacks stocked to keep the watchmen occupied in their off hours, right? This is a scholarly center. I mean, not a scholarly center in the sense of a place where many scholars come to study, I think, perhaps. It seems a little small for that. But yes, a place of quiet scholarly reflection. Well, that bear is just going to assault me? That is rude, not to mention unwise. Alright. We are wending our way through burning fields. Going back to our friend Cuniswith. Let's pronounce his name correctly. Yeah, Marielle, I agree with you. They really knew how to make books in Middle-earth to survive the test of time, no question.
With the Rohirrim?
Okay. My actions have brought you some peace, okay? Justice has been delivered. Hey, no problem, man. Helm of the Fallen Watchtower. See, I disagree with you, Mr. Hat. It's not. I'm arguing with a hat now, but it's not a watchtower, or at least not in the literal sense, right? In the intellectual sense, it is a watchtower looking out over, the fields of lore, not over the actual fields. Okay. What does this look like? Oh, yeah. Great looking hat, I gotta tell you. Yeah, no, I love it. I love every bit of it.
The Rohirrim will need your
Okay,
aid.
the pain of your wound regresses. Great. Okay, you're gonna head out with your son. Good. Okay, a Rohirrim scout from Cliving passed this way not long ago. He traveled south, searching for someone both savvy and skilled to help him with an important task. Okay. Sure. Happy to help. That's what I'm here for. Helping people. Oh wait, hang on. Boom. I almost forgot to wear my stealth hat. Hey, you can't see me. I'm wearing a hat. I love that. I love my stealth hat. I always forget to use it because for some reason it doesn't occur to me that I can conceal myself and my galloping horse with a hat. But I love the fact that I am able to do so. Okay. Oh, hi. Look, it's a whole camp. Catabrand. Okay, Catabrand. What have you got for me here? Wait, hang on. Surprise! You didn't hear me right in because I was wearing a hat, but here I am. Okay.
Your aid is welcome.
I have some
friend.
rather important tasks. Well, a savvy and skilled assistant. I shall apply for the post. Okay. Let us work together.
Friend, may I have a
I
moment
stand
of
before
your
the
time?
esteemed Catabrand, renowned tracker, game hunter, and personal scout to Reeve Athelward. Yeah, but he's kind of a jerk. Do you agree with that? Where do you fall on the Reeve Athelward question, Catabrand? I would like to offer you a rare and wonderful opportunity, the chance to become my apprentice. Oh, good. Okay. Working for Athelward awards much privilege and prestige. Something a modest hobbit such as yourself would be hard-pressed to find elsewhere. Oh, this guy's a piece of work. Okay, the hides of the Norcroft-bound brown bears can be sold for a meaningful sum, but convincing a bear to part with his hide is not without considerable danger. Okay, get a bunch of bear pelts. Alright, fine. Yes, the arrogant huntsman. I had noticed that myself. Oh boy, Catabrand. Alright. Hey, look, I found some bear pelts. No, wait, are these bear pelts? They don't look like bear pelts. I don't know whose pelt that is, but... Oh, and some antlers, huh? Oh, now you're just showing off. You probably just picked those up after the local deer declared war on each other. Okay. Ooh, it's getting late. Maybe I can have time to hunt bears. Ooh, and there's a warband nearby. Who's Skootog again? Somebody remind me who Skootog is. And does he have archers accompanying him? That's always my I want nothing to do with a warband with missile weapon ads, but all right, I'm gonna look for bears. They're off that way. All right, that one guy looked pretty close. Let me check him out. Oops. Just dismounted myself. That's a little awkward. Mounted and ranged? Oh, forget it, Scootog. Who wants you? Boom! No, it didn't make it. I'm lagging for some reason. Especially when I try to jump across rivers. Okay. Fine, I will give Scootog a miss. And I will look for bears instead. Boy, lots of mounted dudes. Oh, hang on. But I'm wearing a hat. One bear. Maybe I'll do my bears from horseback. If they don't take too much extra time. Okay, this dude is taking forever. Seriously. Plenty bears. Okay. Oh, he's easily the toughest warband in the Norcrofts? Yeah, alright. Maybe I'll avoid Scootog. Alright. Bear hunting is going relatively well so far. Let's see if I can get in another lore question here today. Okay, let's see. Lore question. Oh man, Ethelon. Okay, Ethelon was just asking a question today, so I did one old one and one new one. Okay, so Ethelon was asking. He recently watched the 80s feature film Excalibur. Oh, man. Oh, man. He was wondering my thoughts on the accuracy or lack thereof and opinions on the film. Okay, so, yes, I have opinions about Excalibur. One of the funniest things I ever did was show that film to my college students in my Arthurian literature class. Back in the old days, and they found it absolutely hilarious. That movie is what? I didn't get his hide. He didn't drop a hide, that bear. What a ripoff. Yeah. So the Excalibur film. I mean, as far as accuracy goes, like, you know, define accuracy when it comes to Arthurian films. You know, it's funny because it says, you know, based on Mallory's Morte d'Arthur explicitly, whereas like every other Arthurian film just says that implicitly, right? But you know, there's a very great deal that it alters, of course, from Le Morte d'Arthur, you know, from Mallory. It's very strange. That film is very strange. That film has been an icon of, you know, and strange as it may sound, I've never been a fan of the movie. I mean, I've always found it really weird and kind of disturbing in various ways. But I've known lots of people over my time who were like, yeah, like I fell in love with, like, I date my love of medieval literature back to the time when I first saw Excalibur. I mean, it's very, I mean, it's a very iconic film. It's a good thing that you saw it. But anyway, it's very... What? For real? All right, it's on. Let's see. Around the tents. Let's do this. Where is that guy? I can't believe that guy just followed me into the camp like that. And it took him forever to get in, too. Whoa! just rubber banded all the way back in. Oh, there you are. That was unexpected. Anyway, so, yeah. Excalibur is a... Boy, this Warg Rider is a piece of work. Wait, now you made me aggro those two other guys. You are the most annoying Warg Rider I have met in... Well, and now one of my attackers just vanished. We're running into all kinds of problems here. Yeah, so, whew, that was an awkward exchange. Patrick Stewart riding into battle in plate mail is got to be one of the coolest things in that film. One of the most kind of like one of the things that film does really interestingly is the whole like the king and the land are one thing. I'm sort of interested. I mean, if you forget everything else about, you know, Arthurian tradition and you look at, there are definitely like serious mythic elements to that film. If you can get past a lot of the camp and a lot of the really odd choices that are made, it's very interesting, you know, from the, you know, the early connection with Excalibur, the sword, and through Merlin, up through, you know, you know, with, you know, Mordred and the Grail. You know, I think that it's, as I say, it's really interesting. There are definitely strong mythic elements. I have a hard time with it. First of all, because there are a bunch of things that really throw me off and don't make a whole lot of sense. And at the same time, I don't like how a bunch of the Arthurian elements are treated. It's just not my favorite. A lot of the things that I like about the Arthurian story aren't dealt with really interestingly there. Namely, the movie's all about Arthur, right? Like a good King Arthur story shouldn't be all about Arthur. It should be all about his knights. I mean, again, that's the sort of the Arthurian tradition. And too little is invested in the world. You know, too little is... you know, we get too little of the adventures of Lancelot and Gawain and stuff. I really, you know, Gawain is, you know, barely features. Anyway, so for a lot of reasons, what is happening here? Why am I spinning? All of a sudden, random, strange things happening.
Greetings, friend of the Rohirrim.
Okay, sorry. Did something disrupt your hunting? Yeah, this dude came in and attacked me, and then all of a sudden... okay, I would have expected the job finished with a bit more haste, but I suppose I cannot expect you to possess the speed of a professional. Okay. All right, fine. Give me a more difficult challenge.
Welcome. Stay a moment and speak with me.
Okay, go after a more noteworthy kill. Ambal the Wolf Mother. Okay. Ambal and her offspring have terrorized farmers and travelers. Okay. You know someone who would pay dearly to have Ambal mounted above his fireplace. Okay. Oh, and then I'll become Catabrand's apprentice. Oh, that's exciting. Okay. However, I think I'm over time here. All right. Okay. Well, I think Gryfflet's going to have to stop here. So anyway, but Ethelwald, I will leave you with one last thing in response to your question. The guy behind, John Borman, the guy behind the Excalibur film, when he made that film in the early 80s, that film was his fallback idea. That's not the film he really wanted to make. That's the movie he ended up making, but it's not the one that he wanted to make. You know what he wanted to make, right? He wanted to make an adaptation of The Lord of the Rings. And in fact, he had written a full screenplay of The Lord of the Rings and proposed it and was rejected. To which I say, thank God it was rejected. If I recall correctly, Eowyn lying on the battlefield is nude for some reason, and I think Frodo and Galadriel might sleep together in his version. I mean, it's that bad. It's really mind-bogglingly, incredibly bad. Anyway, so yeah, just he was declined. He was not given permission to do that film again, and boy, is it lucky that is it fortunate that he that he was not. So that is the Excalibur Tolkien connection, sort of stealth Excalibur Tolkien connection. Anyway, yeah, I cannot even explain the mind of John Borman as he was thinking about adapting The Lord of the Rings. It is like a complete trip. But anyway, all right. Thanks everybody for coming today. This was a lot of fun. Good to be back. And I should be back again next week. I will be here so I'll be gone on the 22nd because I'm headed out to San Francisco for Baymoot. So if any of you are in the San Francisco Bay Area, consider coming to Baymoot. It's going to be in Berkeley. You can find, if you go to signumuniversity.org/events, you'll see the page for Baymoot with the registration link. It's like $40, I think, is the price for the full day plus lunch. And then we'll go have dinner afterwards. So yeah, if you're in the San Francisco Bay Area, I strongly encourage you to come by and join us. It's going to be a great day, a little mini conference, and then and festivities afterwards. So please do join us if you can. So anyway, but I won't be here for Gryfflet that week because I'll be already in the air on the way to San Francisco that day. So so I won't be here on the 22nd, but I should be here between now and then of course for most of December afterwards. So thanks very much, everybody, and I will see you guys next week. Stay tuned for Druid's Fire. Who's next? Bye now. Thanks for joining in on my rambles around Standing Stone's brilliant digital adaptation of Tolkien's world. If you enjoy these adventures, please consider supporting this and other entertaining educational programming by donating at signumuniversity.org/fund.